This is Fat Bee Man. I want to talk to you about emergency feeding. If you have a hive that's starving, you're going to have to do some emergency feeding. And I think the best way to do that is through the lid. And I'm going to talk about drilling these lids out. Now, if you put a jar of sugar water and invert it into your lid, you're going to have moisture problems. I've done a video on moisture problems. So when it gets cold, what you want to do is use some of your honey that you had set back. And it doesn't matter how cold it is. You put your two small holes in your lid here, and you turn it over and you set it right in there, and it makes a seal. Now, this is what I use, and it's about the cheapest way that you can drill some lids out without buying a bunch of stuff, and you can save yourself a little money. I use two sizes. This is a 70 millimeter, which is 2 3/4, and that is the size I'm using now. But if you get any of these lids that are plastic, then you need to use this other one, which is 73 millimeter. It's 2 7/8. And when you drill your holes out, save your hole. Now, this is the hole you can put in there and put a little caulking around it and seal it up. Because this is basically a good way to feed in the winter. Now, if you're getting with a super on there, you need to get your super off so that the bees can come up and get this. Your great thing about this is you can feed when it's out there freezing. If the bees break cluster around 38, 42 degrees, they're going to come up and they can get right to it. But you're going to have to remove your inner cover. I don't use inner covers. And this is the cheapest way to feed your bees without buying a feeder. And if you have an external feeder or an entrance feeder, when it's that cold, they're not going to come out to the front. So if you can get some scrap plywood, make you some lids basically for feeding in the winter. Now, there's a certain thing you will understand about bees. When your bees get to a certain point, if you got 3 frames of bees, and we are in November right now, 3 frames of bees, cut your losses. Double the hives up, combine them. If you're worried about the queen, you can cage the queen and you can put her in a cage and put her in the hive with the other queen. Hopefully they won't kill each other. But if you're not worried about the queen, the best thing to do is put a sheet of newspaper over and put a few little slots in with the edge of your hive tool. Now, sometimes in summertime, if you're doing a combine, you can use the newspaper idea or a little trick, and I'll spray it down lightly with some sprayed water, and that makes it easier for the bees to come through. But you don't want to do it in the wintertime. Now, if you just put 2 or 3 little slits, you're going to get a little bit of the pheromones passing through, and the bees are going to come up and they're going to chew that paper and haul it out, and whichever is the best queen, you hope's going to make it. But my philosophy on that is it's cheaper to start over than pumping sugar into a dead horse. And you have to realize when to cut your losses in beekeeping. Now, that's one advantage of this here, and I would eventually just put all these are the migratory lids, and we use those in the wintertime when we're feeding single stories. The telescoping lids are the ones that I prefer, basically because they warp less. On your migratory lids, you just got one piece of wood under here. Now, some people will put a piece on the top and one on the bottom, and then this is flush with your hive. Now, I don't like to put one on the top because it interferes when you want to stack your lids up. You're just starting to lose 3 and 4 inches at a time. Best thing to do is 1 piece, 1.5 to 2 inches in the bottom. That'll hold it pretty much straight. If you're not in and out of your hives a lot, next thing you do is put your cement block on each side. Once the bees seal this down, there's no need to open it anymore. Now, if you have the inner cover, the reason I threw those away years ago, I don't care where you live. If you have an inner cover and you put an outer cover over it, you're going to have ants, you're going to have roaches. That's a given. So use common sense. The bees, they're going to glue this down. Once they glue it, ain't nothing getting in there. Now, I'm putting up a lot of these videos, and I'm trying to get a lot of this learning stuff out there. If you're enjoying the videos, please try to make a donation. It helps with the cost of making the videos. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do that. And if you like that video we put up on each one, click on the like button. Eventually what we're going to do is going to make all the videos private. So if you haven't subscribed, you're going to miss out on some of the new stuff. We're going to do a whole series on the essence of oils, how to treat the bees for several different things. You can also go to my webpage, DixieBeeSupply.com, and you can send me an email. I'm doing this video basically because one of my students called and was having problems with the moisture, and that video led into this, and then we got into another email. So if you send me an email, tell me what you want, that's what I'm going to put up for you. I appreciate you watching.